and then I'll just be
Why
chat
don't
back.
you ever want to be on camera?
That's because I'm not providing anything. That's why.
You're providing a lot. You're providing moral support for me.
Well, I
Well,
think
it's
we're
because
live, Ben.
when we go live on it, that's why everyone can just see me.
There you go.
All right, I'm throwing the headphones on because everybody's mad
We're
quiet.
live, right?
Probably.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody,
We are
welcome
live.
back to another Build With Us session. Is that what we're called now? We're Build With Us? Is that it?
It
Build
is
We went
with
build
from
with
Demo.
Demo.
Build with Demo. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we got rebranded. I guess we're a huge hit.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, welcome back, everybody. I know that we've got a who have been watching us week over week, and for that, that's super awesome. Um, do want to say that for you guys who it's the first time, this is I'm Aaron. This is Ben. Uh, Together we are kind of showcasing what we're working on when it comes to demo. I think early on we got a lot of questions about what it is to that we're actually trying to achieve, what it looks like to actually do that work, and how it kind of all relates together. And that's really what we're going for here. Again, if this is your first time checking this out, go check out Demo. We have a Discord. We've got our website, demo.zone. And of course, if you don't already have the app, go ahead and grab that off the iOS or the Android store and make sure you hook up your car because it's totally worth it. Any thoughts there, Ben?
No, I don't think you introduced our producer who is
Oh,
still on
I think
camera.
we're putting Shalin, the Funk Master, into the spot. Can they see Shalin right now, or how does that work?
Yes.
Yeah.
On YouTube and Twitter, I'm live. On Riverside, I'm not being recorded.
Oh,
Can
okay.
they hear you say
So
that?
Oh
some of the
yes,
people can see you.
Okay.
Yeah, Shaolin is the community
they could
manager for
see me
Demo.
loud and clear.
Yeah. If you guys ever, when do you do the onboarding session, Shaolin? Why don't you go ahead and pitch that real quick, or the new user stuff?
Sure. Yeah, yeah. So for everyone who's just joining us and just now kind of learning about Demo, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, I host a new user onboarding session. So anyone who is brand new to Demo, they kind of want to learn more about the project. They want to kind of like maybe get things set up on their mobile app, or they want to learn more about hardware or software connections work. I hold those segments every Tuesday at 5. We kind of have some ranging topics. The very first thing we always go over is just, why the project exists, what we're building and how we're going about changing the industry. And then we
Mm-hmm.
generally have a part two of it. And the other part is a little bit more in depth where it's like, how you use your data, um, the apps that you could build on the ecosystem. So we could talk about like the pod design system that Ben and Aaron were greatly graciously created for us. That stuff is really cool. And just like all the other segments that we have about Demo, like you could always just come out and learn more about that. So it's a really fun segment. Um, Remember, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, unless it's canceled because I might have to do something else. But generally, it's every Tuesday.
Awesome. Yeah,
Every
guys,
Tuesday
it's a
unless it
really
is late.
yeah, and that's on Discord, right, Shaolin, or is that recorded through here as well, so people on Twitter can see
It
it, or
is.
what?
It is on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Discord. It's on our events channel because it's still somewhat a little small.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to kind of keep it like just like a handful of people coming out there. I kind of get to know you a little bit more. We kind of figure out like where your fit is with Demo, why you want to use the application. Unless it starts growing like really, really, really large, then we'll definitely like probably switch over to Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because that way we could reach out more people. But yeah, generally every Tuesday on our Discord inside of our events channel, you could check it out there. You could also follow our Luma calendar, so it's lu.ma. That's a website that we have that kind of broadcasts all of our current events. You could add to your calendar and you can see what's kind of ongoing. If you are part of our Discord, you could also just check out our events over there too. So, multiple different ways we could reach out to you.
Awesome,
All right, he's
guys,
plugged
go check out
enough.
the Discord. Yeah, plugged enough, but
No,
no,
thanks, Shalin.
Shaolin, that's awesome.
No,
Shaolin does a
no, it's
great
good.
job, guys. Anyway,
He's who
Ben, what do we
produces
have in
all of
store for
our
today? What are you
excellent
thinking?
content. I think we have some tab bar stuff to do, and
Mm-hmm.
I can ramble on about that for a little bit. I would love to get that in one of our next releases here, and then we've got a fix for an issue we're having with Fleet. We're not gonna, I don't think, arrive at the fix, for it on this, but we're gonna at least workshop some of how we can get toward a fix.
Yeah,
So why don't you
for sure.
kick us off with that tab bar stuff? Let's get into it.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and
Are
share
you
your
gonna be
screen so we go
doing?
over the?
are-
Yeah, I want you to talk about the
Yeah,
design
I can
first,
share
and
my
we'll kind
screen.
of.
Yeah. Do you want to do my? Are you gonna be doing my fun version or my less fun version?
Let's start off with the less fun version and work our way into the fun version. How about that?
Boo. Okay. I'm just loading up my tab here.
All right. While you get that ready, because I know what we're going to be
Alrighty.
working on, I'm going to get a couple of links ready for us.
Cool. I'm gonna share vehicle tab. Here we go.
And just so you know, guys, we got a nice comment from a man named Dylan over in YouTube land. He wants to know, when is Build with Dylan gonna start?
When is Build with Dylan gonna start? I don't know. Maybe we should bring Dylan on here at some point.
Dylan would be fun. Dylan is our
Dylan.
back-end guru who has set up everything from, user profile stuff all the way up to some of the meta transactions that we do on the blockchain. So just an absolute wizard. And yeah, we should definitely get him on here. Definitely
I agree. Let's
show the
get
world
more.
the Dylan.
Build with Dylan. Okay, so something that we've been doing, I think if people have been following just the app in general for a while, you'll have noticed that there's been sort of this gradual cutover from the sort of V0 that we put out toward the beginning of the year, and some of the stuff like we're looking at today. We did a whole very in-depth sort of re-architecting session or series of sessions on getting this thing to a place where we could put all of the features where we wanted it to, where we had a better understanding of who our users were and how they were using the product. And so you'll have noticed there are some elements that have been being phased out or evolved or just sort of moved around in the product as we start to realize a little bit more of the what the end state or what the sort of more mature state of this product is going to look like. So one of those things is we have currently a legacy tab bar that's sitting in the mobile app. To me, it sticks out like a sore thumb. To other people, they maybe don't notice it. That's fine. That's why I'm doing this. One of the things that we want to do, though, is update our tab to match A, both our current, sort of new architecture. B, we need to update them with our latest icons. We did some stylistic changes to it, like we added, currently we just have icons. Now we want to add text underneath the icons so we can better tell people what they're going to. And then in terms of the selected state, there are a couple of things that we are working through to, indicate better what tab you're on, but also do it in a way that is a little more than just like lighting the icon up. So this has been sort of one of those like lingering to-dos that we've had for a little while to just get this thing updated, and I think we're gonna just crush through it on this right here.
So Ben, I think you already know what I'm going to ask you, but
What's that?
what's the inspiration for the upgrade? Like, why even upgrade? And yeah, let's start with that one. Like, what is it in your head that happens that says that we need to move from what we have and have a better experience or better design?
I mean, it's about cohesion with the product, right? It's as simple as there's a home icon now, and we don't really have a home screen. We have a vehicle tab. Is our is that tab? We have a map icon currently. Don't have a map tab. It's a fleet tab now.
Yep.
So there's some work that needs to get done to update it, just because it's not even telling you the right thing anymore. But also just we need to pull in our new icons. We want to pull in. I'm sure you can see we've got a gradient in the little selected state now. We're just pulling more of our stylistic decisions that we've made into the into the bar to make the product just feel more complete.
Yep. No, I know,
That
and I think
answer
that's
your
great.
question?
I think that does some, and then I mean, how do you, as the designer, say that like what's the proper cutoff point to say like I think this is good enough or like I need to keep doing more cycles here because we're looking at something that's very limited, and I'm sure I've seen everything
Mhm.
from really basic tab bars to something that's just overly animated and really kind of like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
obnoxious. Looks great on
Yeah.
dribble, but not so
Like
much when you're actually playing with it on the app. Like, where do you draw that
that's
line?
most that's most things on dribble, if we're
Mm-hmm.
honest. Uh,
Yep.
no, I mean, it just sort of depends on what you're supposed to do with the product. So
Mm-hmm.
for, there are apps where you've got a tab bar. I'm not gonna mock one up, but like you'll get a tab bar where it's here's the bar, and they'll have a big sort of like hero button that's jutting
Mm-hmm.
out above it because really it's like a put something into this app. I don't think I have. Let me see if I can find like just off the top of my head. I'm looking at my own stuff to see if there's anything. Not really. But you get a lot of apps sometimes where they'll like, this is the thing we want you to do. Everything else sort of supports it. We don't have like a one thing that you want to go to this tab bar and be like, upload something or like
Mm-hmm.
buy something. You know what I mean? There's the product itself does a lot more. So we don't take an approach like that, which is sort of the dribble approach.
Yep.
Uh, Another approach you can take is to take something like this, and let's just
You
pull this
floated
guy
down
over here.
there.
Yeah, you'll see sometimes people will float a tab bar, and
Mm-hmm.
again, this is one of those like sometimes it's a stylistic decision, but sometimes it's a like what problem are you solving? We don't have a
Mm-hmm.
problem that really makes us need to use this. Like that's not how our app is architected. That's not how our architect
Yep.
is built or our app is built. Um, and occasionally too, you'll see stuff like if you think of like a Spotify tab bar. Spotify's tab bar is down there, but it's done in such a way that it can accommodate the music player sort of layered on top of it.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Pulling
our
up right
approach, if
now.
we had something, yeah, if we had something like that, we could do it, but we don't really need anything like that. So when I'm looking at a tab bar for something like this, it's really about, okay, convey where a user is, convey what their options are for their sort of hero screens,
Yeah.
and that's really it. I'm not looking to showcase anything on the tab bar, and we have such a big visually sort of dominating component sitting here at the top of the screen that the tab bar doesn't need to be fighting for attention as like a showcase place. It really needs to just do its job.
Yeah. Do you feel like?
Is that
I mean, this might be an oversimplification, but like almost the more functionality that you have within an app, the more almost like utilitarian
it?
like you still want to look good, of course, but
To an
like
yeah, to
I
an
mean, I'm looking at
extent,
Spotify's tab
yes.
bar, and it's very like you mentioned they have a lot going on. There's a lot of exploration that can happen in Spotify. I mean, it's a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
same screens recycled, but there's just tons of them when you think about all their content. And then you've got that thing where
Right.
you have the music player hovering over it or sitting on top of it actually,
Mm-hmm.
and theirs is just basic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like it depends on the nature of your product, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want simplicity wherever you can. You also do need things that you could build a whole app that looks like an Excel sheet, right? That's just purely functional. So there is a middle ground there. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Nobody thought that the tab bar needs to do anything other than be a tab bar. Now I have my fun stuff with the tab bar that
I think we
makes
should look
things
at
look
it.
better.
Let's look at it.
Okay,
We're gonna explore
let's
it.
look
That's
at
for
it
sure.
and then we're gonna build it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
here's today. This is Ben's hill to die on today. Uh, okay, so if you notice on our vehicle tab,
Mm-hmm.
we've got our three states here. So we've got our healthy battery or fuel level. We've got our sort of warning battery or fuel level, and we've got our red alert kind of your at I think our threshold is either 20 or 15% and below.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these are big visually dominating parts of the screen. When you
Mm-hmm.
actually run the app, the screen we designed for is 812 right here. Okay, 814, 812, whatever. The screen we designed for is this big. Okay, so we're looking at this at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge, big blob with a big old gradient sitting in it. It looks a little bit so-so to have a contrasting, blue gradient down in the bottom left. And if we do it as just white, or as just, the sort of mint or blue is a very distinct color and it competes for your attention. If we do it as just white or just as like filling an outlined icon, I guess it gets the job done, but it's not particularly neat. So what your boy did, which is super cool, is cooked up the idea to match the color of the vehicle tab to the current vehicle's battery state, so that it's always complementary, and you have two sort of little cues, because if, let's say, you scroll down the screen a little bit and our big vehicle card folds up, you've got just another little vehicle, visual cue that like, hey, this car is red, this car needs attention. So I know this throws a little bit of a wrench into your stuff, because this is like, damn it, Ben, why do I have to change the tab bar color depending on the vehicle? But it's the sort of thing where when you look at it, now that you've sort of seen, okay, here's red on red, and now you're like, here's red on mint, and here's yellow on yellow, and now here's yellow with this. It just looks a little better. So I am heavily advocating for us to do something like this as like a nice little touch.
So the good news for you is I have a way that I think we can approach it, and I want to talk about. I think this is a really good thing to actually showcase, because when you're approaching bigger projects, and for you guys out there who are learning or have the aspiration to learn, or kind of still in the middle of your journey when it comes to developing, one of the things that I always find best is that, like, figure out a solution that works, even if it's messy, even if it can be more optimized, and then build up from there. I think a lot of people like to get sort of fixated on like the best way to do something, or like the coolest way to do something, or the cleverest way to do something. And they lose a lot of cycles there. They lose a lot of time. And then sometimes they even, they have this grandiose idea and they go to implement it and it's not working. And then they get to a spot where they're stuck and they either just like throw away the work and move on to something else, or just think that it's not obtainable. Always start with like the most basic, easy version of something and then build up from there. And as you really get into your development career and you start working either on your own projects, or you start working as a team lead or something like that, you're going to have to learn that you have to play with like how much effort you can really put into something. So sometimes you might have a really cool idea, but at the end of the day, like, you just don't have the bandwidth because you have so many other things going on. I think a lot of developers
don't
also
naysay my idea here.
No, I think it's
don't
good.
Naysay
so
my idea here.
We're going to do your idea. We're going to do the very easiest pool possible. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Can I do that, Ben?
Yeah, you got it.
All right. All right. Can you see my screen? It went quiet. Okay, it went quiet for a second. That was weird. You can see my screen. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me fine?
Mm-hmm. All right, we're back in action.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I'm going to go ahead and pull up your stuff. And I'm going to, that's a fleet tab. Here's the vehicle tab. Here we are. So, first of all, I appreciate you putting out all the variations. That's super helpful. As somebody who's going to get in there, I just want to be able to quickly like access the assets and export them. So that's super helpful. Cool. Let's go ahead and dive into this. So the first thing that came into my mind, and I was getting a little bit stuck because I thought, okay, like all of these things are assets that we can export as like an SVG, which is really great because we can put it to the right size, and then we can go ahead and do some other stuff. And we're using a project under the hood for a lot of things called React Native Skia. It was introduced to the world by a guy who runs a really big React Native channel called Can It Be Done React Native, and he ended up partnering with Shopify, and together they saw that like React Native is really great, but we're missing just a raw graphics library, something that lets us do basically all the stuff that like Flutter or like the OSs, Android and iOS do. Like React Native doesn't have that, so they basically filled in that gap. And this project right here is huge. You can do a lot of cool stuff, but specifically, there is a world in which we could bring in an SVG and do a graphic or a gradient overlay over it and get your effect like we could. But I do think that, especially if we're thinking in terms of like, can we get this done? Can we get it done in a reasonable amount of time? And can we build something that will, work on day one and then we can build up from there? I don't think that this is the best approach. What I'm actually leaning towards is, hey, why don't we go ahead and export all these things in their state without the gradient or with the gradient as PNGs, and then go ahead and put up the different PNGs for depending on the state. And when we start to think about the project like that, I think it's a lot more obtainable. It's a little bit more legwork. It's not as kind of a crafty solution as most developers would like, but is it going to get the job done? Is the user really going to see the difference? I don't think so. I mean, they're not going to see the difference, and it will get the job done. So let's try it out. I'm going to go ahead and start by just downloading a whole bunch of these assets. And we're going to export them all one by one. So I'll go ahead and hit export. Quick little tip, if you go ahead and export assets for like iOS development and you do a PNG, go ahead and do 2x because iOS will scale it down and you really want that 2x to get the best resolution.
Why not just do like 4? Just to have it. Like why would somebody do that?
4 would still work, and it really would. And we can do that for this case. But there's a trade-off, and also I wonder at the point if I do 4. I mean, I know that this is an SVG, but let's say we want to do like this car as 4. I don't think like the 4x that Figma would do would really give us a lot when it gets reduced because it's going to blow it up. And then it's going to get reduced anyway. So the trade-off I've always found is that 2 is just sort of like the most optimal all around.
Sure.
And, but, in the case of an SVG that's this small, who knows? I think we're going to get away with 2, and we can always re-export as 4. It's a really good question, though. All right, so we've got 1. We've got another 1. It's going to be a little tedious, but, hey, that's part of the game. Let's get the whole asset. Make sure you grab the whole thing so you have that standardized height and width. All right, and export to. All right, gonna get this row. Then we just have to do 2 more after this.
This is tedious. You're like, why don't you want to be a dev? I'm like, I don't know. Anytime I watch a dev do anything, I'm like, this looks terrible. But that's okay.
Ben, I do have a question for you. I'm looking at these things right here.
Yep.
That's white, right?
Yeah,
now, I can
white at 50%.
Okay, so I'll probably have to put like an overlay on top of this guy.
I can swap the color. It's white at 50%. I can just do it 100% at like our gray 300, I think. Would get pretty similar.
Let's go ahead and try it out, and we might just redo it. Not a big deal either way.
All right.
All right, so we have our person. Now we're going to go and do this. Export 2x. Cool. I think we have all of our assets. I'm going to go over to our system. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and make a new branch for this. So git status, make sure I'm on a clean branch. I'm not. We're working on our checklist. So I'm going to pause that real quick. Work in progress. I'm going to do this quick work. I'm going to merge this back into my checklist, finish that up, and and merge it into my development branch. For those of you guys who don't know, Git or similar systems out there, it's just a way to do what we call version control. Basically, it's kind of like saving a Word document, but you have the ability to kind of move back to a different version of the Word document or to import different versions of the Word document. It's really cool, and if you don't know what it is as a developer, you should definitely figure it out because it is an awesome way to work, especially with teams. All right, let's go ahead and check out feature slash updated navigation. And here we are. I'm going to go ahead and start dropping in our assets.
For the uninitiated, nothing is happening on the actual simulator. Just
I'm going to go over here real quick. Going to drop our assets outside here. And we're just going to start renaming stuff. Clean up. All right. Car, and we're going to say red. Orange. Person active. This is fleet active. Car blue. This is wallet inactive. Fleet inactive.
I should just name these for you when I do it.
Yeah, I mean that would be one way that you could help me out, Ben. I would that would be
yeah,
lovely.
yeah,
Lovely.
I'll do that in
Absolutely
the. I will do that in the future. The thing
no,
is, they just pull the names from the icon library. So if I don't go in and manually rename it, then it's just going to use that default, which is
you know what
normally fine because if you're pulling from your library. But for this, where we're doing this particular pain in the ass workaround, yeah, would have been good.
it is a funny thing, because normally we do reference like our icon library and those names match up, but because this is sort of a special case, it's just different this one time. And if we want to go straight into the fancy version, and if I really knew how to do this and I didn't feel like there was going to be some hiccups, I probably would just say, you know what, leave it as the icon. I'm going to be able to do a nice little like, sometimes it's called clipping, sometimes it's called masking. I'd be able to do that, and we would feel great about it. The other thing that we have to worry about is that, with something more intricate like that, it might work really well on iOS, but not so well on Android.
Right.
Whereas I know this version, even though it's sort of like the low tech solution, I know it'll work the same on both iOS and Android. So it's just really a good spot to say, like, let's go ahead and start here and feel comfortable, and then we can cycle back around if we feel like we have the bandwidth.
Let's
or
get
we really
cooking.
need to.
I want this. I want to see my stuff.
We're cooking. We
Let's
are
get
cooking. Are you ever gonna get tired of seeing this gradient little background thing you've got here?
No, I don't think so. I dig the
right.
gradient. I think there's it just it to me, I don't know. I don't know if other people feel the same way, but to me the difference between this and I know your map box isn't loading for whatever reason, but the difference between this and where we were, and I think what's currently out there, is substantial. And I don't know. These are like those things that I feel like go a long way. And I would love to, I mean, look at our tap bar here as it is now. And then I think if we can A/B this at the end, once you've actually got the new one in, it's one of those things that you'll just sort of notice, but that you may not notice, but like your brain will.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I think that's fair. Let's go ahead and let's get into this. I've got like this whole thing, for those of you who are wondering where do we even start with this, there's a really great library called React Navigation. This is kind of the go-to standard in the React Native navigation world. It is something that What's it called? Oh, I'm getting blown up here, Ben. Do I need to look at that?
No, it's me.
Oh, it's you. You're
It's a
distracting me. I get it.
yeah.
No, it is something that is like the go-to standard within the React world or React Native world. Um, it's got everything from your stack navigation, which are basically, if you think of it like a stack of cards, you're adding cards or you're retracting cards. That's kind of like your forward and back, or pretty much how like the browser works on your desktop.
Mm-hmm.
And but you've also got like your tab navigation, which is something special. It's not like we're not adding or subtracting, we're just going kind of like left or right. And we use both of those within DIMO. There's a third kind, which is like a drawer. You've seen those in a lot of apps. We're not using that in our application, but it is a pretty common thing. So there's even something called modals, which are kind of this thing, and we use them, but not within React navigation. But basically, the whole point isn't like should you use everything or what you can use. It's more like, hey, this gives you the ability, and you create your own sort of flavor on top of it.
How's a tray fit into this for people who don't know?
No, a tray. So they do have an implication, or sorry, an implementation of a modal,
Mm-hmm.
but
Because
not
we
the way
use
that
a
we
lot of
want it.
yeah, we
Yeah,
use a lot of
we,
trays. That's just
we
a
have
me
something
thing.
specific.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and go over to the design real quick, and we can see what a lot of those look like. So here you show it just like separate, but can I go into like preview? How can I see that?
Uh, to get the tray up there.
Yeah,
People know what a tray is. It's fine. Keep do
people know
tab
what a
bar.
tray is. You're right.
People know what a tray is. Tray slides up. It's a tray, and then you hit
There you
X
go.
and it closes.
We, we
Or
we
you swipe it.
basically thought, you know what? Let's roll our own tray. Let's make our own because we
Yeah.
want something very specific. And what we would get out of a library would probably be less of what we want. That's
Yeah.
kind of like the decision as a developer you'll make, where you say, you know, should I do this myself or should I use something that's already off the shelf? And you kind of just sort of like weigh the pros and cons. And in this case, it came out to we're going to do our own.
Yeah.
Not
I
a big
do a
deal.
lot of trays. That's just a habit of mine that if it fits, you know, I get a lot of use out of that sort of stuff, tucking stuff away that way. So again, to your point, it's one of those instances where like we're gonna do this a lot, and we either need a really good off-the-shelf solution that we're gonna have to probably tailor to our use case, or let's just do our own because we're gonna use this kind of heavily. So, I like a tray for a lot of things that people like a modal for. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I really like a tray for explainer stuff, unless you're gonna like move the rest of your content down to fit like explainer text. I really like a tray to pop up extra info. I like a tray as like a prompt. I find it more elegant to have it anchored at the bottom versus having it floating in the middle as like a modal, which you sometimes see. So it's just it's a habit of mine, I guess. But here it is. We're doing it.
Doing it. All right, so I'm coming in here. So beforehand, we had our settings for this tab bar set to not show the labels, and now we're going to show them, which is really cool. What we want to go ahead and do is we have our own names for like these areas, and we want to put in a custom name. So in this case, for this, we're going to call it vehicle. For the next one, we're going to say that this is actually fleet, which that one would line up. That's okay. Here we're going to say rewards. And lastly, profile.
You know what bugs the hell out of me?
What's that?
Watching you do this quickly, knowing how long I've been asking for it.
Ah,
Not to throw you
wow.
under the bus publicly, but
Yeah.
watching you be
No,
like, oh, I
it's
don't
not
have
like the
time to
whole
do.
world is
I don't have
consuming
time to do the
or,
tab bar, Ben. I don't have time. We gotta focus on mission critical stuff, Ben. And here it's like 80% done. Cool,
that
bud.
is one of the
Cool, bud.
funniest truths about programming in general. Like, it never ceases to amaze me, like, what people think is really, really easy and what people think is really, really hard.
No,
And
I
it's
knew it
almost,
wasn't hard. That's why I kept asking you for it.
Ben, I gotta customize this now.
Oh
Like,
my
you
god.
know,
Whatever.
I
We're
gotta I
here
gotta
now.
customize this
It's
now.
fine. We're here now.
All right. Tab bar icon style. Let me see. Here I got to go in here and I got to figure out padding bottom. Now let's see margin bottom. I got to figure out why we have so much space.
Where are you?
Line.
Which space are you referring to?
Well, we have space here, and in your design, they're a lot tighter.
Yeah.
So, trying to get that taken care of. Let's go ahead and just set up a height, and we're gonna give it 32. Oh, don't want to listen to that. Maybe if I go. No, it's like nope, it's not doing anything there. So we can kind of get rid of this.
What's your height
What
for
if
the
I-
whole component? What height do you have for that? Because I think I'd like to bring it off of the mine's 80.
Yours
you-
is 80. That's what I
yeah.
thought. That's what I had before.
Okay.
But what I
I'd
could
like to
probably-
bring it off the bottom of the screen a little bit more to excuse me, to avoid like a home input by accident. Yeah, I think that's good.
That's good right there.
Yeah.
And I think we're really close now. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that
That-
looks good.
That looks good. All right. We got what we wanted. So we're like halfway there ish. Here's where we're going to get interesting. So we have the ability to say what the tab bar icon is. And the cool thing is that this library is going to give us like a Boolean called focused. It's exactly what it sounds like. Basically, if that's true, we know that we're focused in on that tab. And if it's not true, well, we know we're not. Right now, we have like either the primary color, which is this mint color being shown through the icon, or we have like a white color. We're going to kind of be a little bit more explicit here, and this is where we're going to import our icons. What we're going to do is we're going to actually go to the top and start bringing them all in. And we're going to, the really cool thing about assets, like when we're talking about images or videos or whatever, React Native, like once you have them in the project, we can actually just reference them and pass them to like the different components. So I'm going to say like import, and we're going to say vehicle inactive from assets, asset slash icon slash, what do we name that? We said that that's car inactive.
I'm good. Whoever asked if I'm good on YouTube.
Someone asked if you're good.
Yeah, I'm like, it's something. In my
Oh,
throat.
are you
Someone's
coughing
"You
up a
good?"
storm?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You know what? I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna vacate real quick.
All right, you do that. I'm gonna call this active. Ben, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's a good label for like the different categories of the fuel level?
Healthy, warning, danger.
Okay, there you go. Healthy. Warning. This is our orange. And danger. Look at that. Beautiful. We're going to replicate some of this. We're going to say that this is fleet inactive. Cool. We've got these two. All right. We're going to name out fleet for, did we call it wallet? Called it wallet.
As rewards, but I don't know what you
Yeah.
called the icon.
So I'm just going to go here. We're going to say rewards.
Ain't no way are we getting to fleet tab today. To that fleet tab fix today.
Oof. I know,
Yeah,
Ben. Maybe you
it's
should stop
funny
giving
when
me such hard assignments, then we can get more
Yeah,
done.
shut
That's
up.
it's your fault that DIMO is I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, all right.
All right. Let's say profile. Oop. Gotta spell profile right. And What did I name this? Did I name this person?
Yep.
All right, there we have all of our stuff. Just gonna get rid of some of these empty spaces. All right, I'm gonna start with just assuming that vehicle is gonna be healthier and active. We're gonna start there. So,
Yeah, to be clear, the active state for this, if we have no charge or no battery or no gas from the vehicle, is just the same. It's just the mint. You can use the same one, the blue gradient.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because otherwise, I think for that one, we've got that black and gray, and that we can't match that. That's not going to look like anything's happening.
So when I go here, we're still white. What I want to do is, do I get opacity? I don't get opacity. I'm gonna wrap this in a box. And put it in theme.
Fleet looks perfect. This is exactly what you want. Why does the?
No, fleet's not done yet. That's still the
I'm
primary.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, I was gonna say,
There's
it's
no
like-
there's no map in here. Is the map? Why does it like on this and the other vehicle tab, the map is not coming in? Is that just because you're trying to optimize or something while you're? and not
No,
hitting that
sometimes
box?
during development process, our map doesn't like to load up. We're using it's a good question. We're using a library called React Native Mapbox GL.
Mhm.
It's a mouthful. Really
Sounds
great library. Works really great in production, and sometimes, especially when you're doing a lot of like heavy development, I think you either get like rate limited or something happens where it just says, "Hey, like, you need to wait like an hour before I start loading you up." I've had this happen before, and it's okay. You just kind of work around it. It's a bit weird, but no worries. Okay, so we have our logic here. I like how this is unfolding. This kind of did that thing. I'm going to go ahead and start replacing a lot of this stuff out. This is going to be fleet active versus fleet inactive. Cool. And again, we're going to have rewards active, rewards inactive. Awesome. Save that. You can see that removed. And lastly, we're going to see profile active, profile inactive. Cool. High level, how are we looking at the fleets level? Is that on the fleets tab?
I can't.
Is that kind of what you?
Due to screen share, I can't really tell if the gradient is in, but I'm assuming if you just exported it, then yes, it is. So looks good to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be subtle. What we can do is we can go to a vehicle, and again, that's under the healthy. But if I look over here, I think we can really see that under like the warning.
Yeah.
So let's look at it as warning, so we can just make sure that that's.
Do we have a card? Switch one of the cards. See if we have a car that's just in warning.
Look at
On
that.
our
That's
test
definitely
account.
the gradient.
Look at that. Yeah, it is.
Nope, looks like both my cars are in a good place right now.
All right.
Yeah. All right, Ben. So we know that we can basically. So just to recap, we brought on all of our assets. I do got to say, if I'm eyeballing this, it looks like, the weight of this one is so much bigger than the weight of our profile. Any thoughts about that? Did I do something wrong there?
No, I think that's just a. Let me
Am
let me
I being
shop.
weird about this?
No, you're right. Let me shop for a more rounded profile. One thing that also I'm going to call out is updated tab bar has a separator at the top. It's just a gray. What is it?
What
It's
am I
a
looking for?
gray 900 with a stroke weight of 2. And that's just another little divider, and that's just another sort of like that's how we're dividing things now. And it's just going to be more cohesive. I can't even see it.
No.
You
Oh,
told me.
you can't. Wait. You see
Yeah,
down
but it's
there?
screen share. Yeah, it should be at the top. Yeah, I can see it.
Sure, that's Gray 900.
It's Gray 900, brother. I just looked at it. Here it is. Inspect Gray 900.
1-3. All right.
That's
Let me go
it.
check out our system colors.
No, you look good. It's fine. It should be subtle.
I know. I'm just checking to make sure that my colors are gray. Yep. Okay. That's where we are. We got it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It is very subtle, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's just you're not gonna. It's one of those things you're not gonna notice, but to me, it's like you're gonna follow the convention that you're trying to set throughout other parts of the product, and we are explicitly dividing. We're making a decision to divide versus letting a list just kind of go and use negative space to separate it. We're actually using dividers. So for this, I want to use, even if it's a really subtle divider, to just chop off the top of that tab bar and make it clear. I'm shopping for a new icon for profile because you are right. Person.
Pretty level.
You know what? Yeah, I gave you the wrong one.
Mm,
My bad. That's my
no
bad.
worries.
I put the wrong one in here, and I'm about to give you the right one.
Trying to think what I want here. I'm gonna create. So we've got like this utility that's gonna get our charge level by an active car, and it does a few different things. I'm gonna go ahead and let me see this thing real quick. Where's this utility vehicles?
Come in here and grab the new icon while you're here.
All right. I'm gonna add one more, something like this. Export, get,
Yeah, that's it.
level.
I don't know how I missed that.
What did I do here?
Aaron, let's go till 25, and then I'm gonna bring a exclusive guest on here for 5 minutes.
Oh, is it Dylan?
Mm-mm.
We're gonna get the Dylan.
No, we're not getting the Dylan. We're getting a dispatch from our UK contingent.
Oh, cool. Okay,
We're
that
gonna
works
talk about
too. I
some
think I know.
3D stuff. Yeah,
Oh, well then I definitely know who it is, but that's gonna be sick.
I know.
Okay.
Wrap it up though.
All right. Give me a second. Healthy. It's gonna H there to do something else when we don't have the right number. I'm gonna grab all these. This could be optimized. We'll do that later. Healthy. Warning. Danger. All right.
Okay, you want to come in and grab the rounded icon for profile,
Give me a
or do you want
second.
me to export it just and drop it in the chat for you?
We're gonna do that after the show ends.
Okay. Well, it's in
so
there.
just-
Same place, same location.
Yep. Just get rid of the old one.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to go fast now because you're like, I got a time crunch. So now I export that
good.
new label. It's gonna give us either healthy, danger, or warning.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm thinking about it, I don't like that because now I'm just putting out there in the bad world. We're gonna do another one of these. Export const get fuel status by percent. Now, here's the difference with these.
Mm-hmm. You don't need to rush. Don't worry. It's okay.
I like the rush. I'm pretty
It's
quick.
okay. Don't
For
rush.
num fuel status, we're gonna say healthy. See, I don't even spell healthy right. Eek. Healthy, warning, danger.
Are you deliberately spelling healthy wrong?
Am I? I don't know. Did I need the L?
Just kidding.
Healthy? I don't. I'm looking at this and going a little crazy. That's what happens when you rush. Word to the wise: don't rush code.
Okay, I found a bug.
What? What's up?
You're spelling healthy wrong. It like differently between those two.
Heal. How am I? Oh my gosh! It's healthy, right? Like you
Yes.
healthy. Okay.
I'm saving you. I'm
Okay.
debugging for you, Aaron.
That would have been bad. That would have been real bad. All right, this is gonna mimic that. The reason why we want to use enums is like if you just pass text around, you can get into this bad. Well, you guys just saw I spelled something wrong. I might have changed it somewhere else. It could have been like, it's just really really bad to do that. What you want to do is you want to use enums, so you almost have like a source of truth, and then that gets passed around. And then if you ever update that source of truth, you don't have to worry about like it going to the wrong space. So I'm going to just grab this same thing here. This is really bad code. Guys, you'd want to come in and optimize this. The biggest thing that I'm going to change, though, is I'm going to update these to be the actual enums. Perfect. And again, we can optimize this. And we're going to do const status equals use memo. And the only thing that's going to change is this. Go ahead and import this. Bring it out. Cool. Let's see now. Here's where we have that. We're going to move it over to our navigation. And bring in this hook. Active vehicle ID.
See, this is taking longer than this isn't like one line. I was making a joke that like, oh my god, it's already done, but
Yeah, you're killing me.
no, there's work that goes into anything like this. Even something that is, we're gonna get a substantial amount of the way done in an hour. It's still, juggling when it gets actually put in, juggling how you prioritize something like this, which is, I think we can agree, as much as I like how it looks, is a non-essential. Updating the text and the icons is much, more important than updating the color, dependent on the vehicle's charge level. But this is just like one of those little balancing act things or juggling act things of where can we fit it in during the stream? Let's fit it in during the stream.
I'm actually just so concerned that I'm spelling healthy right everywhere at this point that you're
Just
talking
copy
and
it.
I'm
Just-
like self-conscious about
Just copy
know.
it to the clipboard.
yeah, just ridiculous. Guys, we got it. And I've got
We
2
got
minutes to
it.
spare. Like how good is that stuff? Now,
Jeez.
I'm going to put some to-dos here cuz I like
Okay.
this, but I don't love this. I think this could be something optimized. I think that like us changing status and stuff like that is going to give this is just like I'm going to put it to do and I feel like we can do this. Optimize this to prevent pre-renders. Just with, it's like we basically have too many moving parts on this tab bar, which is really, really crucial for the rest of the app. And it's like, we don't want this thing to change when it doesn't need to change all the time. The only thing we really care about is that this image is the right thing. So it's just like one of those things where like you could have an adverse effect that you don't even intend on. That being said, I love where we're at. Let's go ahead and like see if we can get some different cars in here. So
See,
I'm
and
gonna
as I
go-
said, there's all our spacing by negative space, which is what we used to do, and now we're gonna do dividers. Look who it is.
Hi. I
Is
hope
that you,
can hear
Abby?
me. It is me.
Can we call you Abby or call you
Yes.
Shiny? What do you
No. Oh, Andy kept calling me shiny. It's wrong.
And now you just put him
We
on
have it.
blast in front of everybody. So that's
Oh,
Oh
I
my
mean nothing.
All right. And I just found a little bug. It looks like it's asking us for an email. And we should have an email that's already confirmed unless for some reason this one
I
doesn't
think somebody
have that.
reported this earlier
I
today.
did see that. That could have been a
Yeah.
bug we fixed, but you know what? We were too busy working on a tab bar bin. I mean,
Yes, that's my bad.
Well, I wasn't saying it was your fault.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, no, that's all on me. Why don't
Alright,
you?
I wanna-
Why don't you grab a to do? Let's let Abby show some goo.
wait, real quick. I want to
Oh.
just let's hope. They're all positive cars except for this guy who, whatever. All right, guys. Well, it's TBD to see if we actually are as smart as we think we are. But for now, I'm gonna stop sharing and just listen. Abby,
Goo.
let's see some magic.
Let's introduce Abby to everybody. Abby does a lot
Hi.
of 3D stuff. So everybody who's in the design channel and is like, I love this goo. What's all this goo stuff?
Show us
I
the
am
goo.
goo.
This is the goo archetype. this is the archetype.
I never thought that would be my like role, but
Your claim to fame.
well,
Abby does the goo.
yeah, the goo is bigger than I am at this point.
Yeah.
No, the first thing that everyone should have seen is the cover for this exact thing,
Yeah.
Yes.
which Ben had no
Abby.
in whatsoever. He definitely didn't want that done for this.
Definitely not. Definitely did not jump that up the priority list for this, but whatever. It is what it is. Oh, Shaolin says I'm frozen. Am I frozen for you guys?
No, I
No,
see
not at
you.
all.
Okay, cool.
Blame Shaolin.
All right, I'll blame him. Why don't you? I mean, just talk us through this goo. I mean, this has been a process. I know you want to. I don't know if you've got Blender running. I don't know.
I'm
if you-
currently opening Blender. I imagine there's a magic button down here I can hit, and you will be able to see.
Yeah, you hit the
Yeah.
Now my graphics card, but this is Goo live.
go.
Oh my god.
Live Goo. Thank you to my 2080 graphics card. Couldn't do it without you. No, 3080. Sorry. But this is live Goo. This is one of your screens. This is actually unreleased live Goo. So.
That is awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
We also have, I mean, the way I do Goo is that is the Goo exploding and wibble wobbling. And then I just find a nice frame here and stop it where it looks gooey.
Do you just decide like that's the best frame, or is there? Because we sometimes we get these and we're like, less goo droplets, please.
Yeah, less Goo explosion, please.
You just back up
Yes.
the goo.
Yes, I just back the Goo up. I'm like, okay, you want less? Okay, cool, we'll go back. But yeah, I can even find the exact today's cover. Here it is. Scary
Oh.
lines. Oh no, that's one that didn't get used. It's the laptop. I didn't realize.
That is the one that didn't get used. I think that was the right decision, but I don't.
Yeah,
know
I
if
quite like the retro. I went for a retro computer
I
because
think
why
the
not?
retro was awesome.
But yes, this
but
is the
walk
laptop.
us through it. Like, how long did it take you to build this, and then maybe even back up a second and talk about like how long you've been doing Blender
Yes.
and whatnot.
Oh gosh. Well, okay, we're going right back. I'm only 19, so I started Blender when I was 16. So
Oh my
3 years.
gosh.
yeah.
So
Started that
you're
then.
19 now, which means that like when you're like Ben's age, you're gonna be just a prodigy. You know,
I'll own
in Hollywood.
Blender.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I actually started in Maya, which any designers know is like the unfriendly cousin of Blender.
Yeah.
Over to Blender because it's better for your mental health. And the Goo came about. I don't even remember how the Goo came about. Daniel wanted this cool, crazy, reflective, like wobbly thing, and I was like, that sounds like Goo to me. And I started just dropping stuff in it. Everyone seemed to like it. The Goo grew quicker than I knew it could.
Yeah, we get a comment that says "when goo gif."
When but yes, I have never done fluid dynamics before. This is, by fluid dynamics I mean the splashy stuff. It's all very Blender doesn't really like it, but we've worked it out. Yeah, I started out doing like anything cube, like DIMO from Adventure Time, and things that because when you start in Blender you start with a cube, you get given a cube, and generally if you can just take the cube and just like or like longer and make it into a character, that's quite satisfying because it's done for you. But when we get to the Goo, it kind of hurts the brain. But yeah, the Goo's quite simple because I use the same screen. Now I've got the Goo. I can copy this file as much as I want, and put whatever I want in it, in the goo.
So like, how does that work?
Um,
Do you like program the goo to like to be like, hey, you're water, and you're all the products of water? Like,
yeah,
what's
so if I
going on
go
there?
to the domain, the
We should have given her more time. Let's keep
We
going.
definitely should have.
No, let's
Bring
keep
you
going.
back.
No, let her
Ben
go. Let's keep
and I
going.
might just exit 'cause this is
No,
way
we're doing
cooler than
over.
what we do.
We're doing overtime today. These are
Yeah,
yeah.
keep going.
We're in overtime.
okay. Well, baking the goo is when it learns what it needs to do. I always drop a sphere into it. This is better. I always drop a circle into it. You can't circle because it is just a
Mhm.
circle. But that circle is what makes the goo do the goo thing. You tell the circle that it is like an effector, and you tell the goo
It's
to
a
be
home
affected.
wrecker. That's what it is. It's a yeah.
You go in here and you click magic button called bake, and it thinks about it, and probably does everything that you do, but automatically because I can't code. Um, it does all the
That's
codey stuff
awesome.
for me. And then, yeah, you just edit all. You can go in here and change, like, the fluid surface, the white, which is like how many droplets you get.
Let's
Oh my
dial our droplets back.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
amount of goo basically.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just make
Yeah.
up what I think the right words are, and you're just
Yeah,
gonna pretend
you're
like those are
you're
the right
getting
words.
there.
So, like,
Aaron,
that's the goo effect.
Describing
That's, like,
what you want for
Yeah.
something like this is like.
It's
just
so
being like,
funny.
you just make it go like.
Yeah,
just
you have
like-
to use it as in
No,
hand.
like the other day, I'm like, I want the miner, I want the auto pie, and I want it dropped in a tub, and so I'm sitting here like, do this, and then here's the thing, and then imagine, and then it goes like that, and then she's like this, I'm like that, like this, like.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how the goo is made.
And they have some nice presets for me. I could make this into chocolate sauce, or I use water because I'm not a psychopath. But
Yeah.
we could have blood, or
Or we
the
can do
ocean.
chocolate sauce. Let's. I don't know why we chose blood of those two options, but
No,
I
I'm
feel
sorry,
like
man.
the DIMO
But there you go.
chocolate
There's
sauce-
chocolate sauce.
Abby, you got a question. So is it an object going through another object with an effect, and then you're muting or hiding the sphere? Basically, how this works?
Yes. So the sphere down here, which I've unhidden for now, is the effector. That's what makes the splash. Otherwise, it would just be a nice.
So,
This goo I use an add-on called Flip Fluids, which is by a very clever person who. And I just use it. But it you to turn an object into goo. So the domain is where you say the goo can be, and then I take a cube and I just say you are goo. The cube becomes goo with the magic of the Flip Fluids, and
I'll see why we brought her on here.
it's like throwing
Yeah.
stuff in it,
I'm
pour out
sold.
like a tap. You know.
So how do you deal with it where the sphere is the effector, but the shape that is actually like the
this-
shape here is a document.
No goo relation actually. I can just move him. I just put them
Right.
where it looks
how do you-
like.
Okay, that was my question, because it's like if a sphere is affecting the goo, but the object that appears to be affecting it is a different shape. how do
Yeah,
we
well-
make it look like, Do we just kind of
Usually, I've
fudge it,
tried
or-
dropping all the shapes in. Like I've tried. Generally, a sphere gives you a nice sploosh. I don't know why, but a cube doesn't really. It makes it all like flat and funny. So I always use to make it long or fat or thin, depending on. So like this, I just did a round one because really, kind of sploosh like
Yeah.
that. And then tactically hide. I'm gonna turn the chocolate off because it's just not. It's just not. Yeah. Oh, that's ocean water. You get a nice blue effect. That is not iced water. There you go. You can have a chilled screen if you like. And
That is
for the screen,
cool.
I just have an emission layer right down here, which is kind of final renders, but actually the goo is just see-through, and that's how
That is
it
super cool. So you
appears.
take our screenshots, you gooify the top layer.
Yep.
You hide out the sphere that's gonna do all the damage as like the wrecking
Yep.
ball,
Yep.
and then you
I
sub
hide
in
him.
like the actual thing that's gonna go into it. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
out, but you know what? It's been worth it. I love the goo. And other people
We
seem to
all
like
love
the goo.
A lot of
So,
people
you
seem
know.
to love the goo. I think we're gonna release some goo. I believe,
Yeah.
like to
Oh.
the masses.
Text. This is what happens when you move files on your computer.
There we go.
There you
We're
go.
all-
Technical difficulties, everyone.
Technical difficulties. Law of
And the
demos.
splash is at the wrong end. See, look, this is the proper behind the scenes when nothing. Look.
Yeah, we're trying to
I
avoid
think
like
Ben and I know a lot about that one.
Yeah.
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
There's a sploosh.
There's my thing I
There you
wanted.
go.
This is the thing.
Moving earlier, the
This
dropping.
is the thing I wanted. So
And
for
everything
people who are
else.
gonna pair one of the autopies, we're gonna have some
Fun
cool, you're gonna get
animation.
some of this. You're gonna get some fun animations in it.
That is cool. So
yeah.
is it gonna? Are we gonna
Ooh.
video the actual sploosh? Is it just gonna be a still? Okay.
We'll probably have to play with the sploosh, as that it kind of
Mhm.
remembers the wrong one there. But we can export this as an app video. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
That
everything
is
else in
cool.
this
Yeah.
and alert nerds
We'll
is
probably
lighting.
stick a fallback, for if the video won't, is
Yeah,
if we got a laggy phone or something. But
you got that Android
this
vibe.
is our
I
cool
can't say
little
that. But yes, everything
This
in
is
here is just
awesome.
lights. Autopie screen.
do it.
For anyone who wants to know, yeah, the Blender scene is very simple. There's no backdrops, no HDRIs, no nothing. Just lights and goo.
Oh my
Let
gosh.
the goo talk.
Abby,
Well,
we're gonna
tell you
keep
what,
bringing
like-
we're gonna keep bringing you on to these. I think.
Yeah,
You're
I think
welcome
so. I
to.
think we're gonna, especially like, you know, there's a token launch coming soon. I know a lot of people who are watching this are like super anxious for that. I think we're gonna have to do something splashy commemorative of that. What do you think, Ben?
I mean, yeah, we can do it.
We should do it. Abby, are you game?
I'm game. I'm game.
All right, so we're gonna.
So this time works, but I'm in England, so
We
I'm not
couldn't
staying
tell,
up
Abby.
till 2 a.m. for
We
you
couldn't-
guys.
doesn't make
Yeah,
any
we couldn't
sense.
tell.
Is that meant? A comment
No,
on
it's
something?
yeah.
I'm offended. I'm
Um,
not even posh English.
We got a couple more questions that just came in here
Ooh,
for you, and then we
I
can
like
wrap up.
questions.
So
They
we
like
got.
you more than they like us. That's
I
all
know,
that
right? Shaolin says
better.
Abby made views go up. So
Yeah, that's true.
there we go. The sphere makes it sense for it to spread and give the max effect, but I don't want the sphere to be in my final render. How do you get it to still affect while not being seen?
Oh, that's easy peasy. Up here is the viewport. That's where it's like if you have in Photoshop, you've got the eye where you can turn
Mhm.
off the. You do that. So if I wanted to turn off, I actually don't know. Yeah, my sphere is here, but once again it's invisible. But down here you can see that you've got a camera and you've got an eye. The eye does it for you pre-render, and then annoyingly you have to do a separate one for the camera, which is actually your render. So a lot of the time you'll hide it on the eye and go, oh, it's gone, and then you render just like this, and you go, oh great, there's not going to be a sphere there, and then there's a sphere there. But it's it's basically just hit the camera knows, sphere doesn't exist.
Right
All
on.
gone. But yeah, Blender's it makes you want to throw your computer out a window, but it is rewarding when you get it right. So that's how I would
Yeah.
describe it.
So we've heard that it's contributing to your heat wave. So
Oh my god, sorry. Americans don't think it's hot in the UK, but we have to remember we have no AC. Well, our house isn't built to be hot, and I am just cooking. I had to do a nice conversion for Ben earlier. Apparently it's 90 degrees here. I don't think that's hot for you guys, really.
it's not hot.
It's hot enough.
Conditioning.
It's not hot.
I have a fan.
Yeah, I think we're different. We're operating different equipment over here.
my
That-
PC with the
This
goo
is
open.
my AC. This whole thing back here is my AC. That's just dumping. So.
This is mine. There you go.
That's.
Do you have a bucket of ice and a fan?
I did. I put ice behind my fan, and then it makes it cold. It's kind of like AC,
Oh my
but
gosh.
for me. Bro, I have dogs. I'm just keeping them cold. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
We need to sponsor an AC for you, but that's all right. All right, guys. I think
Awesome.
this is a good place to wrap. But
Yes, it was great coming on.
absolutely.
Abby,
give
having
you
you
your
here has
screen
been
back.
wonderful. We're definitely going to do a bigger one of these, something more focused on Blender. And yeah, I think we'll have a little task for you. Again, we're moving over to mainnet. Like, we don't have an exact date, but it's coming down the road, and we should definitely do something to commemorate that. So put on your dancing shoes.
Get ready.
Don't ask me to dance. It's not going to be as good as my blender.
Dance in Blender. There you go.
Sorry, I
Alright,
will
people.
dance really well.
Awesome. All right, everybody.
Okay.
Can't wait till
Thank
next
you.
week.
Aaron, do your little sign off. Download the app.
Oh yeah.
Apply
sure.
for jobs.
Ben
There's
usually
lots
gets
of
so
jobs.
upset. Okay,
Apply.
fine.
You can be
guys,
19.
You can
Yeah,
be 19.
exactly.
Just be good.
Yeah, be talented. That's what we look for. Guys, if you don't know DIMO, check us out. DIMO.zone. That's our website. If you go there, you can get to our Discord. It's pretty lively. Something like 7,000 active users in there. Lots of people chattering. If you want to talk about cars, you want to talk about Web3, you just want to talk about what we're doing, get in there, ask some questions, talk to some folks. Ben and I are on there. Abby's on there as well. If you've got questions for us specifically, just holler. And of course, if you haven't downloaded the app yet, what are you waiting for? Get
Why are
on
you
there.
watching this if you don't
Yeah.
have the app? What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Yeah, just don't stop what you're doing, even pause this, but come back to us next week. But, priorities.
All right.
Get the app, get your vehicle connected, get ready. Again, we're moving over to mainnet sometime in the next couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, still TBD, but it's happening, folks. Get ready.
Come to Shaolin's onboarding.
Yep, Shallon wants you to come to his onboarding if you don't know what you're doing. It's
Come to the community
call.
call. August
All right.
25th.
We gotta stop
What would
asking
we do
people
without
to do stuff.
Shaolin?
They're gonna
I'm
be like,
plugging
"Guys."
stuff. I'm plugging stuff for the
There
people.
you go. And
All
also,
right.
Ben, if you're talented, come and apply.
Yeah, if
we
you're
need
talented,
developers, designers.
If you're good at
More
stuff,
Abbeys.
apply. Yeah.
You can
Honestly,
be
if you're
from England. They
you
will
can be
bully
from
you.
England,
Yeah, I mean, if you're from England, you really gotta be very talented. I'm gonna be honest.
Harsh words.
I'm just saying, if you want jobs, get in Discord. Get on. We have postings there, but maybe DM us. Maybe we'll see your stuff more. I don't know. There's a lot of applicants. Just
You
saying.
can't like blood sausage, says Shaolin.
You
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
I don't. See, that's why I'm here. It's because I don't. So there you go.
All right, you guys, have a
All
good
right.
weekend.
I'm wrapping it up.
Bye.
I'm calling it.